Samurai Dynamo.
Hello, and this is Samurai Dynamo, and I'm Mark I'm with my partners in crime.
I'm Josh,
Ben?
and
We're working on the intro. So
Yeah, well, I guess we
today we're gonna talk about shooters, video game shooters. A couple that are coming out, a couple that have come out recently. And Ben's gonna start us off with Call of Duty. Sorry, Battlefield.
No, we are not talking about Call of Duty. We're gonna talk about Battlefield Hardline because I watched a video today. I haven't been researching Battlefield Hardline very much, and I stumbled across some videos today, and I was thoroughly disappointed. And you guys have both played the beta, so you can kind of come in where I don't know what I'm talking about, but I was very disappointed with what I saw with Battlefield Hardline.
What were you disappointed with, first off? Because there are a few things.
Well, first off, I think the thing that I noticed the most in Battlefield Hardline that really just bugged me was fucking zebra, pink zebra
the camo
camos for the gun, golden guns.
That's like standard issue.
Yellow cars.
Now.
Well,
yellow cars. I hate yellow cars. Yellow cars grind my gears to no end. If you own a yellow car, I'm sorry, we can't be friends.
You can't be friends with my sister then.
I probably can't.
Nice
and
car,
then there's I hated this is just the video I saw. I know there's tons of maps, and I'm sure that other maps make more sense than this map did. But literally, this looked like a map from like I can't even think of a name
was
right
it
now.
The city?
No, it was let me think, like just land. It was just like lakes and dirt roads and trees, and I was like,
all right, a relevant comment, Ben. I know how I'm going to torture you if I ever need to make you talk. I'm just going to pop in the first Transformers DVD, and I'm pretty sure you'll sing pretty quick.
Because of Bumblebee?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can tolerate that. But I can't. I don't know.
Oh, you can tolerate Chimeras, then you can be a friend with my sister.
Well, Chimeras kind of originated as black and yellow like that. I mean, that's just kind of a common theme. I wouldn't buy one that color.
So today on Samurai Dynamo, we're talking about cars.
No.
So in the beta, it was only one map, and it was just this weird. It was a pretty cool city. And if you cut down like these power lines, you could make this giant crane fall, which is kind of cool. But that was like the only saving grace to it. It just felt like Battlefield 3 plus Cops and Robbers.
Yeah, dude. No, like that should have been a map pack, man. They should not have focused all the time on making that a full game. That is ridiculous, honestly, in my opinion.
Real quick,
they could have easily. Go.
Sorry, just to jump in here real quick. Is it full price game? It's gonna be. I just wanted to make sure I know that before I.
Of course, it's gonna be a full price game.
Okay.
I mean, I can't.
Because I can understand
completely comment on that.
Like $40.
Here, I'll look it up.
Pack. We're gonna double.
No, it's a game. This is a game. This is a game. This is not an expansion pack. This is a game.
Because it feels like Battlefield 4 with sort of like a cops and robbers paint job. It feels like
exactly
mode, but you're stealing money.
That's exactly what it is. It's like, why are you gonna give me this game when, like, first of all, I don't know. I haven't been a big fan of the Battlefield series in a while. Like, I love Bad Company 2. That's my favorite video game of all time, hands down. Favorite video game. Quote me on that. But the recent Battlefield games have pissed me off, and they've not been very good. I don't know. Just I don't know. I've just been really disappointed with this franchise for a while. But
yeah, it just begs the question: why they even want to do this if they weren't really gonna go?
They're trying to do something
all out and like make you feel like a cop, like make you feel like I'm subduing criminals as opposed to I'm shooting terrorists.
Yeah, it's literally exactly. It's like they just put like cloaks over everything. It's so
like
so.
The bad guys in this game could just go work for like Blackwater or something. They don't need to rob banks. Someone would pay them.
Yeah, and there's not even any like robbing aspects to it. It's just like you get popped in a game and you're a criminal. And
Well,
you're
well, there
popped in a
is.
game.
Yeah.
The objectives are like you're robbing a bank, so you run to like a bank, which is the objective, and you have to
And then
fill
what do you like
bags of
hold?
money.
We hold.
And then you run back to
and
your
then,
car.
but it plays like capture the flag, or a similar kind of objective, like run to
Yeah.
the point that that's trying to be defended, and then
But
Yeah, it's just not enough.
the cops versus the robbers, like the two sides didn't play any differently, or it was very minimal at least. Like
Yeah, because I mean you're just shooting and trying to kill. Like
and the
cops
weapons were really
don't
different.
just
Like it
shoot
would
and kill somebody.
it was just
like it'd be neat if it was like a pistol focused game where like you just had like cop guns and it was like different, but
Yeah.
you know
Yeah,
you,
you
just
got
have
these
your
robbers
assault
throwing
rifles and your
grenades
snipers
everywhere.
and your shotguns.
Yeah, it's stupid. I hate it. It's the worst idea that's ever happened in video game history, in my opinion.
Do you think
Honestly.
the vehicles
I'm
are
just-
kind of fun? Just the idea of like
I
you're
don't
in an
know.
SUV as opposed to a tank.
The only thing
That
that,
was
I
neat.
noticed about that game, and I was like, wow, okay, that's kind of cool, is the sounds that the vehicles made. I thought the sounds they made, that's it, sounded pretty good. That was the only thing that caught my attention. Everything else, I was just like, this is ridiculous. I will not.
good
pay
job,
for this.
audio team at Dice. You're on a roll.
Yeah. Yeah. Audio team at Dice, you're doing your thing as you always have. But
Well.
everybody else, I don't know what the fuck y'all are doing. But I'm pissed at you.
Let's not blame like everybody over there.
Yeah, because
I'm
half
sure
of
there's
them are
blaming
plenty of
working
people
on
who made the
Battlefront.
game that are upset that they're making the game.
And yeah,
I want them to make. I don't know why they won't just make Bad Company
because
3.
they're
Why
making
can't I get a
Star
Bad
Wars
Company
right
3?
now. Let them make Battlefront.
Alright, that's cool. That's a good. Okay, you can get. I'll give you
Maybe
that.
that's what happened. Maybe the team got stripped and they just had to deal with what they had left.
I'd be okay if
Maybe.
half of Dice was working on, if more than half of Dice was working on Battlefront.
Although I did have a
Fantastic.
blast. I
Yeah.
got one of the mopeds in the game, like a motorcycle, into the elevator, and then I dived off the skyscraper with it.
That's pretty funny.
and there's like no fall damage in vehicles, so you can just keep going.
Alright, well, let's move on. We've been on Battlefield for a while, so we should probably talk about Halo or Destiny or
I
something
mean,
now.
let's do
Let's give away the rest of the video.
let's do Destiny first.
audio.
What?
Let's do Destiny
I'm
first.
just kidding.
Just because Bungie. I'm gonna go on record and say that I
Yeah.
love Bungie. Bungie's my
Yeah,
heart.
we all love Bungie. Everybody loves Bungie, but we need to talk. We need to have a conversation with Bungie. We need to sit Bungie down and be like, hey, look, I don't know what you like. It's like kind of like Bungie like went off and like had his like their teenage like whatever teenagers do when they become teenagers. They just kind of go off and do their thing, and you're like, wait a minute, what are you doing? You're going out of
They went
control.
to college.
Yeah, so that's what Bungie's doing right now, and as parents, we're a little upset, but we still love you. But seriously, I'll let 20. I'll take this away. Take it away. Destiny
Okay,
thoughts.
well,
Go.
I enjoyed Destiny for the first few times that I played it, and it just ended up being the same thing, kind of. I mean, it had
hmm
RPG aspects, which was kind of cool. Now I only played the Warlock, so I can't talk about the other classes.
I've heard that there's like there's not even really any point in playing any other classes because like all the weapons are the same. It doesn't really give you any like. It comes down to your little super
Mm.
ability. Like it's a preference thing. Like other than that, they're all the same from what I've heard. So there's like not even any real point to playing another class. But I don't know. It felt honestly, it felt limited.
It really did.
That's what
yeah.
I was. That's what I was afraid of from the beginning. I was like, okay, I really hope like I'll be able to do more than run around and shoot things. I'll be able to like kind of dig into the world a little bit, like interact a little bit more, like use my hands, maybe get some like melee or swords and stuff like that involved. But no, it was very run around, shoot this over and over
And the
again.
story didn't really
Yeah,
have
that's-
like a dramatic ending at all. It seemed like.
I don't think that really is meant to be an ending right now, but if I had to guess, but I couldn't even get sucked into the story. I was like, this is
Yeah, like
ridiculous.
I wanted it
It was
to be
just
this
like, why did
huge
they
story.
even have a story?
Well, because it's supposed to be this 10-year long thing, which is cool and ambitious, but they could have told me a story that I would have enjoyed for the first section of that, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the best way I can describe it was, it was a beautiful game. No arguing that. It looked great. For everything it did well. It did everything it was doing really well. Like there's like the servers were great. The shooting, everything it did, like I'm saying, it was really good. But there just wasn't enough in the game that they promised, and like it just, ugh, I don't know. It got really old and repetitive, and it didn't give me any reason to keep playing it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that made it. It was just disappointing. It was really disappointing, and it's kind of been a common trend with a lot of video game companies lately, and I don't know, it's bumming me out.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot more games that I'm interested in coming from indie developers than I am from like the huge game companies, which is kind of sad because like when Assassin's Creed came out and they started doing all the Brotherhood stuff, that was pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, Brotherhood is actually the only Assassin's Creed that I've played through and thoroughly enjoyed. Actually,
but I mean now like when 3
that was
came
actually
out,
for me where it started to become more of a chore.
Yeah, exactly. It actually, like, that's how I felt though. Like when I started playing Assassin's Creed, which one was the Indian
3
one? 3. Yeah, I felt like it was really tedious, and I felt like I was just like over and over. Really, go kill this guy now. Run over here and kill this guy.
It's Native American. Some people actually get confused when you call
Native
Americans Indians. Because
then
I'm like,
gosh,
India! Which Assassin's Creed was in India?
That would have been cool.
They're not even technically native to America either. They're just
I mean, it was in Constantinople.
They've been here longer.
That close-ish.
Whatever.
No, it wasn't.
No, I just meant that nowadays I actually get confused when someone says Indian and they're talking about Native Americans.
Oh. Well, you're the history buff, so you would get confused.
But Mark, thoughts on Destiny?
The best way to sum it up is that it's bare. Yeah, just silence. The best way to sum it up would just be that it's very bare bones. The story is non-existent. It's just Peter Dinklage's robot character doing a bunch of monologues. There's like 6 cutscenes that don't really provide the player with any meaningful information, so you don't really have a motivation as to why you're doing this, apart from maybe, oh, let me get this new helmet, or ooh, let me get this new gun, and the gunplay gets pretty repetitive. I mean, like the AI is pretty impressive as far as like running around doing interesting things, but it's just this isn't a Halo campaign where you just play it and then maybe you revisit it in a couple months. This is supposed to be, the meat of the game, running around with your friends over and over again. And there's just not enough repetition. The worlds are kind of too small, so there's not really much room for exploration. There's not really enough things to run around collecting.
Apparently they're like revamping the loot system too.
Because it was just so limited. Like, I might as well get into WoW and like have a custom character, or
the thing with WoW is like, everybody has like different armor sets and everything, but with Destiny,
with different races and
exactly,
it's just a little more.
The races don't matter.
I mean, I don't
just
even
get some nerf gear and create Sword Art Online.
I feel like
we're
would
a little
more
ways
of a
away from
Gun
that
Gale scenario then.
I don't know. Gun Gale, the world of Gun Gale wasn't all that.
Cyberpunk
to
is
me.
What's up.
Dude, Aincrad was so sick. It was beautiful. It was like, oh god, I would live there. I loved Aincrad. But anyway.
So
I don't know. And now Halo Master Chief Collection, is that what we were going to get into?
We can talk about things like the Grimoire cards and Destiny.
Oh my god!
No, I don't even know what that is.
That they could have told the story
what is that? I don't
so
even know
much
what that is.
better, but they decided to throw these cards in, which made you go online and read them just to figure out what the hell these alien species are. And it's still increasingly limited information. And damn.
Are you kidding me? That's what those are? That's so lame. I've never taken the time to go check them out.
Right? I don't want to elaborate on it too much, but I mean, there's some evidence that has been leaked about possibly a lot of major story revisions that basically they cut a bunch of stuff out. I don't want to rant about it too much. off the top of my head because I don't remember all the details.
Yeah,
But it wouldn't surprise me if that was indeed the case.
that they just kept cutting
The
things.
short story was that a couple of beta testers had leaked like the original story that had sort of been a lot more characters and cutscenes and actual like character development was cut. And it's also kind of proved if you watch all the trailers, you'll see different characters and aspects of the story and a few of the things actually hinted at,
And I feel
but they weren't
like
in the game.
that wasn't all Bungie's thing. I feel like the whole thing with Activision, like, gave Activision a say in what Bungie was doing, which could have been a factor. But again, I don't work there, so I have
Yes.
no idea.
We should also touch on multiplayer because I think that would only be fair.
Like the
The
arena or whatever it was called.
Yes.
no, it was called what was it? Now it's stuck on my tongue. I want to know what it's called. It was called poop on a cracker, man.
I don't think it was called that. That's not terribly creative.
I mean, that's pretty creative. If you name your multiplayer poop on a cracker, that's gonna bring up some questions that need answering too.
That's very true.
But
People will keep playing just to
Um,
figure that out.
let me think. Gosh, what was it freaking called? It was called the
That's not important.
Crucible.
Crucible, there you
which
go.
I'll-
It was a Crucible.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. See, just goes to show. I feel like I gotta
Bless you.
sneeze.
Preemptive.
Thank you.
But yeah, the Crucible,
Wasn't bad. I mean, everything worked well. Like I said, it did what it wanted to do
Yeah.
well. It wasn't
the
great.
main part of it that what would have been cool is that that like different levels had different spots in the Crucible.
The upper hand.
But I mean, in the Iron Banner stuff, the more like the cooler shit that you have like does give you an upper hand. But in regular
Yeah.
Crucible, it really
Well,
doesn't.
there were multiple modes. There were modes that it didn't matter, and there were modes that it did. I think it slightly mattered in
Yeah.
all the modes, but there was. What they're talking about is like the stats of your armor and stuff could give you some
Mhm.
benefits even in the modes where everyone has the same health.
Right,
Yeah.
but then you'd see those videos on YouTube of the level 1 guy using standard shit, like just wrecking shop.
Yeah.
Um,
I would
Yeah,
just say
Destiny,
like, there's
if
nothing
I-
in there that we haven't seen in like a Halo game.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
indeed
It
a
didn't
Call of
bring anything
Duty
new to the
game.
table. That's where the Crucible lacked. It just didn't bring
The
anything
maps
new,
aren't that
you know?
exciting. It's not like you have that many custom classes, so you're taking your one good gun from multiplayer. And you have things like everybody's either has a shotgun or
auto
a
rifle.
You know-
rocket launcher or a sniper.
You know what sucks? If you had asked me like 5 months ago, like what I thought of Destiny, I would tell you it was going to be the greatest game of all
Mhm.
time. And here I am
saying that it isn't.
saying it was lame.
I-
and I'm
I was
just like,
assuming
it
that-
breaks my heart.
I was assuming
It's
that
so-
they were praising that game a little too much before it got released.
It's good marketing. Let me put it to you this way, kids. Good marketing.
They should have spent less on
For real.
marketing and more on the game.
That's the truth. That's where that $500 million went. Freaking bullshit.
Or paying
You
Peter
know what else I'm
Dinklage
pissed
because
about?
we needed
I'm
him
pissed
in the
about.
game.
I'm pissed about the Master Chief Collection too. The fact that the servers are
I don't
down.
think-
Like all the time.
I mean, we haven't checked it in a little bit, so they could be back on.
I think they
It's
actually
been
did
getting
an update
better,
today.
but I think
They
they're
did an
still
update
working
today.
on it.
I read an article. They did an update today that fixed connecting to matchmaking. It focused on a little bit of the matchmaking. It didn't focus on team balancing, but it focused on other stuff. And then next week they're going to focus on team balancing. But
Have they done
mean,
much
come
with
on, it's
parties?
how-
Because every time I've played it, the biggest issue is connecting.
yes, they said they're
staying
working on
connected
making
your
connecting to the
friends.
parties was going to be easier.
Okay.
That's the one thing I would say. It seems like they're communicating really well.
Yeah, they're
Bungie
communicating,
decided
but like,
no,
how are you going to
that's
release?
343. But I mean, that franchise has always been really good about communicating with their community. Communicating with the community.
But like, how are you going to release a game that's that messed up in the first place? Did they like not know it was going to be that messed up, or they're just like, here, we need to get this game out now, so we don't have time to fix this. We'll
Well,
fix
there
it
was-
later.
Well, it's possible they never stress tested it.
Yeah, I don't think there was a beta for it, so they couldn't have stress tested it.
So they just released it, and it was like kind of an accident. It wasn't like intentional.
I believe so.
But dude, this happens to every game. Every game knows that you need to beef it up before you. Everybody knows they're gonna get overloaded like that. Everyone knows that.
Especially for something that
I
big.
haven't played a game. I haven't played a game that hasn't done that since Battlefield 3.
Battlefield 3.
No, Battlefield
Yeah,
3
they
did
had
that.
they had betas.
Battlefield 3 did that, and then since then, every game has done it.
Yeah,
And that was like back in 2010.
because Halo 3's multiplayer worked like a damn charm. Halo 2's
Well, yeah,
multiplayer
'cause
worked
they-
like a damn charm.
Do you think it has anything to do with like not being comfortable on the console? Like, they had that much time to like. No, it has. I don't know. What I'm saying.
I'm almost
This is
positive
ridiculous.
that they've had time before console release to mess with consoles. Like just dev kits
Yeah.
being sent out in secret, especially for something like 343, which is actually owned by Microsoft.
I think the issue may have been deadlines and stuff like that. Which to their credit, they focused on making sure the campaigns and the maps and everything Halo about the game is really solid. I haven't had really any serious problems with the games beyond
multiplayer.
the actual connection issues and like server issues. So
Yeah.
to their
Mhm.
credit, their priorities were straight, which probably wasn't the case with Destiny.
And which is what is it? Custom games. I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but custom games work like a charm. We could get a bunch
For
of
Master Chief. Yeah, Master. That was good. That's normal. That's what people have been doing. There's forums where people go online and they get in
the games.
They just say, "Hey, what's up? Do you want to do some custom games?" And they just go into custom games. I mean, that's kind of how people have been getting around it. But still, I mean, come on.
I need
I
to
don't
find
know.
those forums.
It's back to that trend where games just aren't ready when they're all released. I feel like.
That's pretty universal, but I mean, obviously this was a lot bigger than just some glitches that needed to be fixed. This was complete
Yeah.
server dysfunction that's may take a few more weeks, if not longer, to completely iron out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was watching a video today about Just Cause 3 and the guys that were making the game. I think they're the company that does those games is called Avalanche, I believe. And they were talking about how like they're really taking the time. Like it's considered a sandbox game. Like I guess you could categorize it with like Grand Theft Auto or
Mm-hmm.
Watchdog.
Far Cry
You guys
kinda
get
thing.
it.
But
Yeah,
a lot
exactly.
more.
And yeah, so like
Or at least
they're focusing a lot of time on like building the world of that game and like building like just tons of stuff you can do and like throwing it all together. Like those games are so cool. Like Just Cause 2 was great. Like it was huge scale. Like I feel like the game was pretty ahead of its time if you ask me. Like it was just so vast. Like and they're not focusing on making the world much bigger this time around. They're focusing on like bringing depth to that world, like things you can do in that world this time. So like I don't know. That's just a really good company. And they say they don't really focus on the story because they focus on just wanting you to be able to do crazy stuff in the game. It's just fun and ridiculous, which is cool. I really like that concept and the way they're going about making their game. And they've had a lot of time to work on it, almost 4 or 5 years now. So I've got pretty high expectations.
yeah. I only played 2 a little bit, but like just the crazy stuff that you could do, like tethering one airplane to another airplane and just watch them go in circles.
Yeah.
For no reason at all, just because you want to. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. There was a lot of depth to that game, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see what they do.
So
That's
have you guys heard of No Man's Sky at all? Okay, so it's this procedurally generated game.
We're not very good at transitions yet.
It's totally cool. But so it's this.
But
It's this
go on.
Online, supposed to be online, where there are just different worlds that are randomly generated, and you can just fly out of one and into another with your friends at the same time.
Wait,
yeah,
what?
It sounds crazy, doesn't it?
Wait, is that the
like a
game where
Minecraft like generated world?
Similar.
You're
but
like
not blocks.
I think I've seen that video.
Yeah,
trailer
they had
for
a
it.
trailer at E3 this year. But it looks really.
I do want to say caution because it is an indie game with very high goals, and I mean we can look up some cases where games have done that and failed,
That is very true.
or try to do that and failed.
But they haven't put out much more content since E3 this year. So I'm very happy that they're keeping everything under wraps and they're not promising all this stuff just so that when we have it, we know exactly what it is. We weren't promised anything special. Yeah.
That's good. At least they're not like releasing it as a beta. Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any plan for that. And it just says 2015 release date, so there's no like set date either. But the whatever they showed at E3, it looked like gameplay, but they do that sometimes. Yeah, there's totally a chicken in my lap right now.
Yes. Chicken in your lap. Okay.
So.
Josh loves chickens.
But it looks like a really cool game, and I'm interested to see what actually happens with it, and if they throw anything in at this year's E3 or next year's E3, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess my most anticipated game right now would probably be Dragon Ball Xenoverse, just because it, I don't know. It looks like it's gonna do a lot of things that the games haven't been doing in years, and might actually revamp something. But that's for another discussion. Dragon Ball Xenoverse gets a video entirely of its own because I love Dragon Ball Z.
And it gets a little bit of a preview in this recording.
Yep.
So yeah, I think and I'm gonna tie this into the end of our video here. I think what we're gonna try and do is do 30-minute episodes. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, about max 30 minutes per episode.
Yeah.
So,
did I say 30 episodes?
Because after that, it gets a little...
Give or take. I mean, if we hit...
Depends on the conversation.
Yeah, so we're probably going to stop it about here-ish, maybe with one more topic.
Here's fine.
And then
yeah,
just...
we got like 4 minutes.
Yeah, just head on to the next thing.
Yep.
All right,
well, you want to wrap this episode up, and we'll get going to the next episode on a later date.
That sounds good.
All right, guys. Well, I'm Ben, a.k.a. the Dragon Baller.
I'm Josh, without a nickname.
And I'm Mark. Me neither. We're going to work on nicknames.
Get some call signs.
And this has been Samurai Dynamo.
Woo!
Peace.
Peace.
Samurai Dynamo.